is a bit of a Hatha flow. So it's just going to be nice, easy, flowing. A nice stretch first, and then a bit of an easy flow, and then into some yin poses. And so the idea this morning is just to get the blood flowing, but not going crazy fast or anything, just nice and slow. So I always like to start this sort of class in Shavasana. So just laying on your back in Shavasana, just to wake up in the morning and just gather the energy around the space that you're in. And just breathe, connect to that yogic breath. And just remembering in today's class, it is a flow, a little bit different to yin. We'll be going really slow, but just listen to your body, take your time going through things. So just shut the eyes down and just completely relax. Maybe just set an intention for this morning's class. It could be just going with the flow, or maybe connecting more to the breath. That's one thing I used to do a lot. Is my intention before a class was I'm going to connect to the breath the entire class. It's always a really good intention. So now we're just going to come into an easy twist. So just keeping the left leg straight, bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. And bring the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Right hand in line with the right shoulder, and just bring that knee across the body. Nothing too major right now. Just allow that feeling, that stretching feeling in the lower back, just to get deeper. So once you're here, just connect to the breath. And when you're ready, coming back, keep that left leg straight, right knee bent, interlace all 10 fingers and come into Paramuttasana. Bring the knee away from the rib cage, interlace all 10 fingers, place below the knee. Pull the knee up towards the right armpit and squeeze. And just keep squeezing. And then relax. Bring the sole of the feet, right foot to face the ceiling. Just grab the outside of the right foot if you can, if not the big toe or the shin or behind the knee. And just bring the knee down the side of the ribcage, keeping the left leg straight if you can. Shoulder blades on the floor if you can. Just pulling down, stretching through the hamstring. You can feel that right now, but opening through the hip for half happy baby. Pulling down once more, as deep as you can go. And then release. Straighten that right leg out. Bring the left foot up, place it on the right thigh, right hand on the outside of the left knee, left hand in line with the left shoulder. Just bring that knee across the body. And then coming back up, Center, keep the right leg straight, left knee bent, interlace all 10 fingers, place below the left knee and bring the left knee away from the rib cage, pulling up to the left armpit, squeezing down, feeling that pinch. If you don't feel it, just squeeze down that little bit deeper. And then release and bring the sole of the feet to face the ceiling. Grab the outside of the foot if you can, if not ankle, shin, or behind the knee. Bring the knee away from the rib cage, pulling down towards the floor. Half happy baby. And then release. Straighten the left leg out. Just in Shavasana again, so just allowing everything to reset, blood starting to flow through. And we'll just start getting moving a little bit. So while you're in Shavasana, just roll the head. So chin from shoulder to shoulder, nice and slow. And just bring the head back to center. Bend the knees up. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, feet hip width apart, hands down by the sides. I'm just going to come into bridge nice and easy. So just push the hips up, squeeze the glutes, and holding in bridge. Just squeeze the glutes, come up a little bit higher. Now you can stay there or you might want to go deeper. It's bringing the shoulder blades together, interlacing all 10 fingers, pushing the hands down towards the feet as you squeeze the glutes and lift those hips up. And then slowly come down. Just keep the knees bent, bring toes and heels to touch, and just come into windshield wipers. So just bringing these left, right, right, left. And then bring these into the chest. Have a squeeze, squeeze the knees together, pull them in to the chest. Just breathe. And then rolling up to a seated position. I'm going to flick over and come onto all fours. And we're just going to go through the cat-cow movement. So inhale, coming into cow, so chin away from the chest, belly button to the floor, shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the floor away, roll the shoulders, chin to chest, belly button to spine. And then just come through in your own time, just working that spine, waking the spine up. Just connecting to Ujjayi breath if you can. Hear yourself breathe. Feel the warmth starting to build up, the loosening of the spine, hips, shoulders, and the neck. Then we're going to come back to the neutral position. Big toes together, knees wide, hips back to the heels, and just come into a nice child's pose. When you're ready, coming back up onto all fours. And just go through the flow nice and slow. So inhale, come into cow, chin away from the chest, belly button to the floor. Exhale, cat, chin to chest. Then come into plank here. So we want to keep the hands where they are, but just come up on the toes, lift the knees up, and then just slide the feet back and come into plank. Holding in plank, push the heels back, belly button to the spine, just looking forward. Then we're going to drop to the knees, come into Ashtangasana. So bring the chest, chin towards the floor. If you can get the floor, that's great. If you can't, just hold where you need to be. Bring the elbows in towards the ribcage. Hips are up. Nice back bend. So you keep pushing the hips up. Then we're just going to slide the chest forward and come onto the floor. So staying on the floor, bring the feet together, elbows in, and then just come into half Bhujangasana. So just squeezing the glutes, bring the elbows in, chin up, chest up. Coming back down. Come back onto all fours. Roll the toes over and come in into downward facing dog. So just a stretching purpose today for downward facing dog. So we're not in downward facing dog too long. But while you're here, stretch so you can walk the dog out. Bring the heels up and down. Push those hips up. And then drop to the knees. Come into cow pose. And then back into child's pose. So just rest for a few breaths in child's pose. So you can see with that flow how we're moving the spine, moving the hips, moving the joints. So the idea is to get the blood to flow freely through all the joints. The idea of this complete flow. So we'll come through the varied version now. So we're coming up onto all fours, coming into cow, chin away from chest, cat, chin towards the chest. Come into plank. So knees up, push the feet back, push the heels back, belly bump to spine, look forward. Then drop to the knees, come into half chaturanga, so bringing the chest towards the floor, elbows in. Before you get to the floor, push the chest through. You can touch the floor if you like, and then coming into Bhujangasana. You might just want to go into half, you might be ready to go a bit higher, but make sure the hips are on the floor. Shoulder blades together, chin up. Then come back onto all fours, roll the toes over, kick the hips up, and we're in downward facing dog once again. Again, just stretch through downward facing dog. So we'll go through these nice and slow. And just listen to the directions, but just focus on the breath. Now drop to the knees, come into cow, and then back into child's pose. We'll always have 3 or 4 breaths in child's pose. So when you're ready, coming up, straight into cow. Belly button to the floor, shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest. Then cat pose, belly button, spine, chin to the chest. Roll the toes over, slide the feet back, plank. Drop to the knees, the half chaturanga, bring the chest towards the floor, elbows in, slide the chest through, come into Bhujangasana, either half or full, to where the hips are pushing into the floor. Shoulder blades together, squeeze the glutes, chin away from the chest. Come up onto all fours, roll the toes over, kick the hips up, downward facing dog. Drop to the knees. And come into cow pose, chin away from the chest, and then back into child's pose. Inhale, come up onto all fours, come into cow. Exhale, cat. Roll the toes over, plank. Then knees to the floor, chest towards the floor, elbows in, push through for Bhujangasana. Come into downward facing dog. Drop to the knees. Come into cow pose, and then back to child's pose for a few breaths. So we're going to go through 2 a little bit quicker, just to get the heart rate up. So inhale, coming up, straight into cow. And then cat, chin to chest. And then into plank. Drop to the knees, come chest towards the floor, come into half chaturanga, push through into Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Once you're there, come onto all fours, roll the toes over, kick the hips up, downward facing dog, drop to the knees, come into cow, and then exhale into child's pose. Inhale, come up, straight into cow, cat, plank. Half chaturanga, knees, chest to the floor, push through Bhujangasana. You should be a lot looser on this one. Roll the toes over, kick the hips up, downward facing dog, drop to the knees, come into cow, and then into child's pose. We're going to do one more. Inhale, come up, cow, cat, on the exhale, plank. Then drop to the knees, come into chaturanga, push through Bhujangasana, roll the toes over, kick the hips up, downward facing dog, drop to the knees, come into cow. Let's go straight into another one, into cat, plank, chaturanga, half chaturanga, push through, downward facing dog, drop to the knees, come into cow, and then relax in child's pose. So to get the blood pumping now, so just resting there. That's a really good, it's on a couple of videos that I've done, that flow. And it's a really, really good flow to get rid of inflammation in the joints. You get that heart rate up, and then just let the heart rate settle. And then we're going to move through to another bit of a flow. And then be ready for some yin yoga. So a few more breaths in child's pose. So when you're ready, help yourself up. You come into cow again. So straight into cow. Into cat. Plank. Half chaturanga. Come into downward facing dog. And have a good stretch in downward facing dog. We're going to step the right foot up in between the hands. Then step the left foot up in between the hands. Bend the knees, bring the stomach to the thighs, and just skim the fingers on the floor and come into chair pose. Okay, so chair pose, what we need to do with chair pose is have the weight in the heels. So make sure the weight is in the heels. And sitting down into the chair. Perfect. Just holding there, breathing. And when you're ready, bring the hands into prayer position. We're going to twist to the right here. So you can have the hand on the right and twist with the lower hand on the back, or come into prayer twist. Come back to center, twist to left. Come back to center. Bring the hands down low. Come back into chair pose and then slowly, slowly come to a standing position. Inhale, bend all the way forward. Then we're going to dangle. And just breathe in the dangling. Then when you're ready, bring the left foot back, left knee to the floor. And we're coming into low lunge. So just holding in low lunge. I'm going to twist again. So bring the left elbow on the outside or the hand down by the side, right hand on the back. Prayer twist, twist. Coming back to center. Bring the hands down the front, shoulder blades together. So hands either side of the right foot, I should say, shoulder blades together, chin up, chest up. Equestrian pose. Stretching through that left hip flexor. So now we're going to stretch through the hamstring. So straighten the right leg. Come up on the heel and bring the forehead down towards the shin or knee. And coming back up. Then roll the toes over and we come up into high lunge. You need to be on that knee, the left knee, do that. Otherwise, high lunge, push the left heel back. And then attempt to twist from here. If you need to drop to the knee, drop to the knee, but twist. Working on that balance and strength. Coming back to center. Drop the hands down, bring the right foot back, come into downward facing dog and just have a stretch. Bring the left foot up. Drop the knee to the floor. And we come into high lunge. Low lunge, sorry. Push that right hip flexor forward. Come into a twist on this side. So whichever way you can get in, elbow down, left palm on the back, or come into prayer twist. Coming back to center, hands down either side of the foot. Push that chin up, chest forward, shoulder blades together. Stretch through the right hip flexor this time. Then straighten the left leg. Bring the forehead to the shin, knee towards that area. Coming back up into low lunge. Roll the toes over, bring the arms up, and we come into high lunge. And again, if you need to drop to the knee, drop that right knee down, or come into a twist. Coming back to center, bring the hands down, either side of the foot, step that right foot up, walk the feet out, toes out, heels in, and bring the hips down into garland, and the hands into prayer, pushing those knees away. And just breathe. You should feel the opening now of the hips and the joints. So when you're ready, bring the right hand down, place it on the inside of the right foot, or even just away from the right foot a little bit, it's fine, but we want to push the elbow into the knee, so the right elbow into the calf muscle. Bring that left hand up. You might want to just stay here. This is a really nice twist, or you can come deeper. Bring the hand to the lower back and twist, or even reach around to the inside of the right thigh and twist. 4 or 5 breaths here. Coming back to center. Bring the hands into prayer. Bring the left hand down, right hand up. Reach up as high as you can. You can bring the hand into the lower back if you like to twist, or kick that arm up, or bring it around to the inside of the left thigh and twist. 4 or 5 breaths here. Bring that right hand up. Then bring it down to the middle. We stay in garland. A few breaths, lengthening through the spine. Then bring the hands down behind you. Stretch the legs out and come into Shavasana. And just relax completely. A good minute in Shavasana just to allow everything to calm down. Just preparing for some nice, simple yin poses. Effective yin poses. Just really slow that breath down if it's sped up a bit. Just breathe. So now when you're ready, we're going to come into the first yin pose. And it's just supported bridge. Okay, so get what you need to put under. I'm going to go pretty high up today. Get a really nice stretch. So making sure that you bring that block or the towel or the cushion or the roll, whatever you have underneath you. Make sure it's down near the tailbone. Bring the shoulder blades together, chin towards the chest. So that's the idea why we want it down a bit further, is to bring those shoulders on the floor, chin towards the chest. Just coming into a really nice stretch. Yeah, so the hips have got nice blood flow through them at the moment. So now we're just opening up through that area. Just keep working those shoulder blades together, working the chin towards the chest, feet away from the body if you can. Just continually work on that. You should feel the opening up of the lower back. Now we've been halfway through. Getting deep now into the connective tissue. Just the last few breaths here. When you're ready, bend the knees up, lift the hips up, slide to the side, whatever is under you. Slowly bring the hips down, come into Shavasana and relax. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. And just have a nice squeeze here. Just roll on the lower back if you feel that's right for you. But just spend the next 20 or 30 seconds, knees into chest. And then rolling up to a seated position. I'm going to work into a little bit of a twisting pose, so coming into have your strap available if you want the shoulder stretch as well. But I'll give you a few different sorts of tips anyway. But we really want to work on the hips here. The next two poses we're working interior, exterior of the hips. So bring the right foot under, Gomukhasana this is. Left foot under the right hip, and then bring the right foot over the top. So you've got this full one where you come in and stack the knees this way. If you want, you can just bring this leg straight out and stack the knees that way until you get that opening of the hips. So totally up to you which way you go. And if you want a shoulder stretch but nothing too deep, you can just reach around and grab your shoulders like this. It's always really nice. Or come into right arms over, left arm up, right arm under, grabbing the fingers. If you can't do that, make sure you grab the strap in the top hand and drop that down. So just getting as comfortable as possible in this pose. As I said, it's mainly the hips we're looking at today. So holding there. So a couple of really nice deep twists, the next two poses, but then we just calm everything down for relaxation towards the end. So just bear with these two, get into them the best you can. Focus on the breath. Challenge yourself to get into the pose and allow the breath to be the controller. It's just 2.5 minutes either side. So because we've just done that flow, we've opened up through the joints. This is just going deeper into the connective tissue. So opening up through the joints with the flow that we just did allows the blood to flow through. But it also just works on lengthening muscle. Okay, so this now we're getting deeper. You probably might feel a little bit even tighter in these poses, you know, even though you've done the flow, but that's because we're getting straight in to the connective tissue now. The blood's flowing through there. You've got a minute to go. Just breathe. Last 20 seconds. Try and straighten that spine. Work on the breath, last breath. And then releasing and moving to the other side. Just coming straight to the other side. Stretch that right leg out if you like. And then bring the right foot underneath the left glute. Unless you want that right leg straight. The right leg straight out and bring the knee over and be in the position that way. Left leg over, right arm up. Or coming into the full position. Stack those knees best you can. Right arm up. Use the strap in the top hand if you need to. If not, just give yourself a bit of a hug around the shoulders for as long as you want to. Or sometimes it's just enough to feel the stretch in the hips. So just work on that first. Breathe. Just focus on the breath. Closing your eyes down is really nice in this pose. Just to focus on each individual breath. Just have that focus. Last 40 seconds. So just get into the pose the way you want to, the deepest you can right now, and just breathe. And then coming out of the pose, nice and slow. And flipping over into Shavasana. Stretching those knees out, stretching the shoulders out. And just relaxing. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Have a squeeze, roll up to a seated position. Then we're going to come into seated gait. So bring the left leg out as wide as you can go. Bring the right foot underneath. So we're bending that right knee. So two ways we come into this pose. One is we come into just a twist. So it's putting the left hand down in front, the right hand behind, lengthen, and then twist. You can grab the outside of that left knee, get a little bit of a deeper twist. Or you can come into coming down to the left hand side. So left hand on the outside of the right knee and right hand comes up and over the outside of the left foot. So whichever way you feel is good for you, come into that one. So the twist is good enough. That's what we're after. So we're opening up through the hips, blocking the blood through the knee and the ankle and the right leg, and stretching that hamstring on the left. Or if you're coming into this one here, reaching over with the right, getting a deeper stretch in the hamstring. You may even want to use the strap. And stretching over. So wherever you are, just feel the twist of the spine is one of the main reasons we're in this. Once you start going deeper, you get obviously the stretch down the side body, a deeper stretch in the hamstring. But we're really after that twist in the spine. Another few breaths here. We've got 30 seconds to go. Get in that deepest part of the pose that you can. Ready, slowly coming out. Switching to the other side. Right leg out. Left leg bent under. So just getting yourself where you want to get. First, it's always nice to put the hands there. Twist. Lengthen through the spine and twist. And then the right hand on the outside. That might be enough there for you. That's a good part of the pose. Or coming over with the left hand, grabbing the outside of the right foot, and just opening through the chest there, or grabbing the strap. Coming into that pose there. So working where you need to go, getting that stretch where you need to get the stretch. Start connecting to the breath, trying to find the stillness. About a minute to go. Focus on the breath, focus on the stillness. Last 30 seconds left. If you're in the full pose like I am, just open up that chest if you can. And slowly, slowly coming out of the pose. Coming into Shavasana. Laying flat on your back. Enjoy this rest. We've just got a couple of short poses to go. Shorter timing poses. And then Shavasana. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Going to roll up to a seated position. We're just going to come into Sphinx pose now, just for the back bend. So coming into elbows underneath the shoulders, spread the fingers out wide. Just bring the shoulder blades together. Push down through the forearms, chest through, chin up. Squeeze the glutes. Actually relax the glutes in this one. Push the thighs into the floor. And just breathe. Not in this one for too long. Just after those deep hip poses, we just want a nice back bend and a nice forward bend to finish. And when you're ready, relax the back. Come down to the floor with the head, just have a couple of breaths. And then just work your way up into child's pose. Big toes together, hips back to the heels first, and then coming forward into the pose. And just relaxing in child's pose. Just for the next minute before we move into the final pose, Shavasana. So today's class, we worked through a really nice flow, which is a little bit different to a lot of the yin stuff that we've been doing. But you still need to do some nice flows like that every now and again just to get that fluidity of the movement of the joint. Balance, strength. So we worked on getting the blood flow through the spine, through the all the joints. Then we worked deep into the hips in yin. So you should be feeling really nice and loose and relaxed. So when you're ready, coming out of child's pose, moving into the final pose, Shavasana. Just laying, focusing on the breath coming through the nose. Just be aware of the breath. Now become aware of the right arm. I'm aware of the left arm. I'm aware of the right leg. I'm aware of the left leg. I'm aware of the hips, spine, the stomach, the chest. I'm aware of the throat, the neck, the back of the head, the top of the head, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, ears, nose, lips, jaw, chin. Become aware of the entire body, from the tip of the toes to the top of the head. Feel how relaxed you are. Go back to the breath and start counting the breath. Inhale, 21. Exhale, 21. Inhale, 20. Exhale, 20, and so on. Until you get down to 0, just focus on counting in the breath. If you lose count, go back to 21 and start again. So now cease the counting of the breath. Just completely relax the mind, relax the body. Start visualizing yourself laying on the mat. See yourself on the mat. See how relaxed you are. Feel how relaxed you are. While you're laying in Shavasana, just give yourselves a bit of thanks for putting the effort to do this class today. Send off a gratitude to someone, something, some event in your life that you're grateful for. Ready, start wiggling the toes and fingers, rolling to the right hand side. Taking a breath, working your way up into Sukhasana, bring your hands into prayer position. Once you get into Sukhasana, take a nice deep breath. In, and then exhale out. Thanks so much for joining me in this class. It was a pleasure to take you through the class. Have a wonderful rest of Tuesday.